Welcome to the Texas Hill Country, the sweet spot of Texas.
Hi, I'm Bob Webster, and I'd like to welcome you to one of the prettiest spots in the Hill Country and tell you a little bit about what I have done to protect it. Now, the way I feel, if you are blessed enough to own some Hill Country land, you are one of the luckiest people in the world. Maybe you inherited your land like I did. Maybe you were given a gift and you've been successful enough in business that you were able to buy some of this Hill Country land. But whatever, you have been given a great gift. And somebody a lot smarter than I am once said, to those whom much is given, much is expected in return. And that's sort of the way I feel about my land. If you are fortunate enough to have Hill Country land, you need to do your best to conserve it, to protect it, to be a good steward of the land. It was here a long time before you had control of it, and it's going to be here a long time after you're gone, and that the choices you make right now will affect how that land is going to look now and in the future as well.
Ask any old-timer how they feel about their land, and you will get an answer something like this.
You kind of ask, what does this land mean to me, and what's important about it to me? I don't know. It's here. It's hard to explain, but it's just something deep, and it's become part of mine and my wife's and our children and our grandchildren, and we hope to keep it as close as possible to what it is, so that the children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren all can enjoy it like what we have.
What I'd like to do at this point is introduce you to some other people who have individual, very different needs, very different properties, but people who have chosen to protect their land through conservation easement, and give them a chance to show you their property and tell you a little bit about the reasons that they chose, as I did, a conservation easement.
This is Art Wilson, first landowner in Kendall County to place his historic family homestead in a conservation easement. Art spearheaded the founding of the Cibolo Conservancy Land Trust in 1998. The mission? The preservation and conservation of the cultural and natural resources of the Cibolo Creek watershed and surrounding areas in the Texas Hill Country.
I grew up here since I was coming up as a baby, and my earliest and some of my best memories as my childhood and adult life were here. And I wanted to find a way to preserve this for my family and our friends and family.
This is Malakoff Mountain at the Herf Ranch, having been in the same family for 7 generations. Bill Kennan stewards his portion of the ranch that once numbered in the thousands of acres.
The land's been in the family for over 150 years, and the way I feel about it, a legacy was left in my hands, and I'm going to leave it in my children's hands with instructions to keep it in the family or keep it from being developed forever. Amen.
Welcome to the Nickel Ranch. This is Ken Nickel, lifelong Hill Country rancher. He has a personal philosophy about his land.
My father used to put it this way. He didn't use the term stewardship because it wasn't in vogue that much at that time. But what he would say, you own your car, you own your house, you don't own the land. God owns the land, and it's our job to leave it in better shape than we found it.
Now we are at the Wild River Ranch. Wade Kilpatrick purchased a stretch of the Guadalupe River and has been working to protect it ever since.
This was an old German farm dating back to the 1860s, known as the Wolfschläger Homestead, and we purchased that largely intact. As you know, we've done a conservation easement that includes about 1/3 of a mile of river, and thanks to anyone that's considering similar measures or interest, we look forward to working with you.
I chose to put my property under conservation easement, and I did it for a lot of different reasons. Now, what did I give up to create a conservation easement? Let me see. I can still ranch.
Can still hunt. I can still fish. I can still manage the land to prevent the overgrowth of invasive plants and cedar thickets. I can still jump in the old family swimming hole.
I can still use the land as I always have. I own the land. I could leave it to heirs. I could sell it or give it to a conservation group. Basically, I haven't given up anything except the right to turn it into a subdivision. And what do I have in return? I have peace of mind. I know that my land will always be a part of nature, and that is so important to me. Or would you rather settle for this? A subdivision, a golf course, a trailer park.
It will never be turned into tract housing. It will never be clear-cut. It will never be bulldozed.
I personally choose open land because I think it is just so important to nature, so important to our wildlife, and it is very, very important to me, and a conservation easement lets me control the land that way. I believe in it a lot. When I first got together with the Cibolo Conservancy and talked about conservation easements, I knew these were people I wanted to work with, and a conservation easement is what I wanted. Well, one thing led to another, and then I accepted a position on the board of directors because I really do believe in this, and at this point I'm president of that board of directors.
Welcome to the Nature Center. Our land trust has had its field office here since 1998, and it now protects over 20 square miles of private land. We pitch in with community creek cleanups. We have helped create a county park system. The Hill Country is projected to add another 2 million people over the next 4 decades. It has never been more important that private citizens become involved in conservation. John Sawhill of the Nature Conservancy said, "In the end, our society will be defined not only by what we create, but by what we refuse to destroy." If you are interested in exploring how you might be able to protect the future of your property and enjoy some significant tax relief as well, contact us. We are ready to help.